That is the hot soup. The hot soup is a segment where we bring you burning topics and hot topics around the web, and we bring it right here and we salivate on it, and we all decide which part of the kitchen we're on. And of course, Fatu is back after a long grocery shopping. Fatu, I hope you didn't cut some of our money and pocket it, huh, Fatu?
I wouldn't do that.
All right, we trust you. We know that you want this soup to be really, really good. Ebe and you talk Ebe, right? Is that your favorite soup, I'm sure?
Oh my goodness. Right?
So this hot soup that we have cooking for you guys after Fatu did all the grocery shopping, this one is spicy. African women in the West are more demanding than the ones in Africa.
All right.
That's the hot soup. Fatu brought it there. Fatu brought the hot soup, not me.
This is super spicy, you know.
African women in the West are more demanding. So in what way though?
You're already more demanding. Just the face. I beg, my sister.
No. Because let me tell you why, right? Let me tell you why I'm asking. Are we talking like a relationship wise, like in the love factor of it, or are we talking like the financial factor of it?
I think Fatu, your hot soup says what it says, right, Ole? African women in the West more demanding than the ones.
So more demanding. You could take it like whatever way.
I don't agree.
Yeah, but the context.
So what's your point?
Yeah.
So my point is this: when it comes, like African women in the West, they don't even have time to be demanding you. Please, I beg, sir. Go to work, I go to work. Sit, I sit. Play, I play. We are all living in the West. We are all living in a very digital marriage. Okay, you hit the microwave, it turns on. You put the dishwasher, it turns on. You put the washing machine, your clothes are washed. Where's the demand? Fatu and them in Gambia, they're more demanding. Let's be factual.
No, I think when they say demanding, they means like they have more issues.
Yeah,
like
we have more issues.
Like
we have it's all
issues.
together actually. With what Amy says, with what you're saying, all together, inclusive.
Yeah,
More
so
demand.
let me just finish this one, please. Okay? The people who Fatu and them in Gambia, they're more demanding, of course. There's less time they have less time to worry about, you know, the long days of work and stress and all those extra bills that's unnecessary, right? So obviously, they probably have more time to be demanding. We don't even have the time to be demanding.
Well, I think it depends on the context, really, because if you have a woman that is super duper busy, for example, like myself, I seriously don't have time to be demanding. In fact, I meet guys that turn out to be more demanding. So I think, yes, I'm sorry, but I mean, now growing up, that is how the situation is beginning to look like.
Let me pause you there, Fatu. Drink some little bit of the Coca-Cola on the side. Based on what Ole just said, we have more issues. The women in the West have more issues, right? So then,
No, I'm not saying that. I say that's what the hot
This
soup
is why I wanted to understand.
not you, the hot soup. Okay, Ole, sorry. Let me clear.
What kind of demanding are they really like looking for?
Basically, we have more on our list that we expect from men. We want the men to be this. We want the men to be that. We want, that type of thing. Like in Africa, African women in Africa, yes, they do have a list of things that they want to have in a guy. But I think women that are generally more westernized, even if they live in Africa, are more demanding in the things that they want from a guy in order to be with them.
Or the modern type of woman is more demanding than the traditional woman.
Yeah, to me,
right.
To me, it does not matter whether you are in Gambia or whether you are in the US or Europe or wherever. As being educated, you are more exposed. You know what you want. You know what you're looking for. So if a man sees that and thinks you are more demanding because you know your worth,
so you propose
because you know your worth, that is not demanding. You just know your value.
So you propose.
Yep. And I know what I want in life, and that doesn't mean I'm demanding. So the men need to step up and also know what they want and who are these women they want to be compatible with. That's not being demanding. That's knowing what I want in my relationship.
So the thing is, like most men these days, right? like in their mouth. It sounds good saying, oh, I want a successful woman. I want a woman who, you know, who's smart. I want someone who's educated. But when it comes to that person standing up to them and disagreeing with certain things, now you're very demanding. They don't like that. So just to Jay's point, like they don't want, they think the smart woman who is, and education doesn't have to be going to school, right? The smart woman who is more aware, right, is too demanding. Like you're too much, you're asking for too much, you're too demanding, you're too like, you know. But when you just say yes sir to everything that they want, now she's not demanding.
I look at it differently, right? I think that if the woman is like you guys said, like well aware, or if the woman is independent, actually that means that they're like less, like they're like less needy, right? Because they're very independent and they could do a lot of things on their own. Whereas maybe if it's a more traditional woman, I'll think that those tend to be like, I would say the opposite, maybe more needy because you requiring a lot from the guy. Whereas if it's the other way around, you pretty much can do everything on your own.
But once you get the guy, but before you even get the guy, there are a lot of things that you want also as a woman on paper. Like you said, Amy, the men want a lot of things on paper that they say, this is what I want from a woman. Most men nowadays, especially exposed, not exposed, educated, not educated, same thing. Here in the West, same thing. Whether it's going to be a traditional list, right? Whatever it is, they all have a list. But what we're saying, or what this hot soup is about, is the ones that are exposed or the ones that are educated, all three together, when you put it together, whether they were here before and they left or they're just exposed, whatever it is, and they're in Africa, they're more demanding in terms of what they need from a guy, the expectation from a guy.
For men, they can have a list, like you said, and tell us all what they want from a woman, and it's not a problem. But as soon as we have the same list, then we are demanding. As soon as you
do we have a longer list though?
No, we don't have a longer list.
And it's okay to have a long list. There's nothing wrong with having a long list. If I want
we
to
don't
have
have
a long list,
Amy, we don't even have a longer list than most men. Men also have a list.
It's okay to have a long list. Since that's where Miss Amy is taking the soup.
I think there's nothing wrong with having a long list, but I think is the list realistic, right? Like, are you looking for?
That's jumbo. That's a little jumbo up there.
Really? Yeah. I honestly do think it's okay. It's really okay to have your list, and it's very okay for anybody to have like a long list if they want to, depending on what they want and what they're looking for. That's okay. Looking at whether the two of you can work towards achieving that is where the problem comes in now. That is where it tends to be seen, whether this is so demanding or not. It's like a man even saying, oh, it's fixed. You have to be cooking for me. All right, right? It doesn't matter if you're going to work or not. My food has to be on that table. And then you are telling them, okay, every month, this is what I think should be my monthly salary too, because I have needs. I have to take care of myself. Now they feel it's okay. You have to cook. But you asking them a certain amount that you need monthly because you have to take care of yourself. It's beginning to sound demanding. I mean, so I think it's very much a very complex thing to say.
I like the fact that you actually brought reality into it. That's a demand that's very realistic for a lot of men in Africa to expect their woman to actually put food on the table, whether they're going to work or not.
Yeah, I mean, even before they marry you, they make you already understand that. It's so I think it's like I was saying, it's a really broad issue, and to say whether it's diasporans that are more demanding than we that are, at home, I think would be very relative, because we still have people that are very much exposed, and they also have their long list, like somebody already mentioned. And if you're not able to meet that, the other party will say you are demanding.
In factuality, men are more demanding than women are, right? Because we have our list. They're gonna say, "Oh, you have your list, and you want this, and you want that, and you want that." But men really want a lot more. Like, you want someone. Okay, I don't want a maid to cook for me. I want you to cook lunch, dinner, and breakfast every single day. I don't want frozen food. I want a wife who is going to
who's educated.
educated. I want you, don't talk back after I talk. Respect for all.
My in-laws, take care of my mom, take care of my dad.
And push, please. We will do that. But also make sure that, like, I think it's like a give and take, right? Like, you cannot expect me to do all these things and then what are you doing? You can't even like change your own diapers for your kids. Change your own kids' diapers. Like, what is it? Like, you think you have a slave or you have a wife? Can we talk about this, please?
Okay, okay, I'm dead. What you got to put on that soup?
Very interesting, honestly.
No,
I think
let's be realistic. Like, you live in Gambia, and then even here in the West, like a husband is going to think that they're gonna have a job, you have a job, but they will get off work before you do, and they'll still come and lay there on the couch, okay, flipping over on the TV and not even have food on the table for no one in the household or be able to even put food in the microwave for the kids to eat. They will wait for you to get home. Like,
So there are a lot of factors.
This is a partnership. This is a partnership. It's not. This is not slave trade. It's a partnership.
You get that? Comment below. You got it? Yeah, it's a partnership. Comment below. And let us know the partnership, okay?
Yes, because there are a lot of factors. Traditionally, they're gonna bring a lot of other things, religion. So it becomes so complicated, even more complex.
You know, Fatu, and that's the thing. I feel like every single time, like, we want to state the facts, they want to bring culture and religion into play. Listen, there's time for everything. It's time for us to be married and be happy and have a good time. But don't try to come and tell me Islam said this and that and that and that, because there is a lot of things that you're doing that Islam told you not to do.
Okay,
so
Amy, we got it. We got it. You're gonna get married in 2021 at the end. We got it.
And my husband is gonna know.
Saying that women are naturally caregivers, right? I mean, the woman is the one giving birth. Whether the man takes care of the kid, the woman naturally will have to do that as well because she finds herself in that situation. I don't know. Dr. J is smiling. Biologically, I'm not going to go into that, but I think, like she was saying, it's a partnership because at the end of the day, two people came together to form this baby. So even though women's role as caregivers is something that is there, and even a woman cannot change, it does not mean that men should not be supportive in that endeavor. The same way that we also want them, to kind of support us in meeting our goals.
This is quite interesting. I kind of like how you guys just take the whole soup from ebe, you change it into pepper soup. I really like that with the palm oil and everything, because we're talking about women in the West or women that are exposed. Are they more demanding than? But now you guys want us to put it as if it's the men or the women, which one are more demanding, which is all good. And I'm glad that's where you ladies decide to take the hot soup to, in that kitchen, in the men's kitchen. Men, if you're watching, if you agree with these ladies, comment below. If you don't agree with these ladies, comment below. And also the first hot soup that we had originally, which is the women in the West, are they more demanding than the women in Africa, or the less exposed, are they less demanding than the exposed women? Comment below. Ole, give us your last take of this hot soup.
So if we just saying in general, I think men are probably like more demanding, right? Because they're usually the ones that have the list that says, oh, I want to buy.
Amy, did you hear what Ole just said?
My heart just dropped.
The housewife of Henderson, Nevada, just said, what now? Okay.
That means it's real. The men do have a longer demanding list than we do. And this is very factual.
So most women, like their list, like Amy said, it's usually, they want like a decent husband, somebody that will provide for the family. Whereas the guys are usually like more descriptive. It's like, oh, I want a wife that's gonna cook, that's gonna do this, that's gonna be educated. So they want like the whole like package, but it's like, okay, is it equivalent? Like, do you also have that same package that you're asking for? Like, if it's the same, then yeah, but if you have like a list that's so long, but then you're not even measuring up to those qualities that you're asking for, then I think it's just complete nonsense.
Yeah, and I think it's also fair. Because sometimes, I mean, like Ola just rightly said right now, I think sometimes also you have women, you know, men, don't worry, I'm going to take your side for a little bit. I always think, you know, I'm against you, but I'm not, right? Sometimes you also have women who will sit here and tell you, oh, I want a rich husband, but they're making $6 an hour. Like, you can't, like, realistically, you can't sit here and say, oh, I want you to make 6 figures when you're literally making minimum wage. Like, what are you bringing to the table? Like, you can't, like, and it's vice versa. Like, women, we tend to do that a lot. We tend to say, oh, I want a guy that have a house, have a car, da 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 da. What do you have? A bicycle or a car? What do you have?
No, Amy, you brought up a good point. I'm just gonna be quiet, but I think you brought up a really good point in that sense where whatever you want in a guy, this is my take on the soup, whatever it is, whatever you want in a guy or whatever you want in a woman, you also have to be ready and show up in that manner. If you want a very loving and a very romantic, very caring husband or a wife, you also have to be that. Whatever you want, you have to mirror that. If you want a guy that is successful, that is doing really well, like Amy says, 6 figures, that is, you know, very loving, very thoughtful, you also have to be similar. I think that's what it has to be. But obviously, that's not the reality we live in. That's why we brought this hot soup to you guys. And hopefully you comment in below and tell us what side of, today I didn't pick a side rule. I think I'm just here. Amy, I only use that on the other segment. Please don't bring it on every segment. Okay, so it seems like are we all on the same side of the soup here? This is the first time on the sister
like
show.
it.
Yeah, because you know, men are gonna call us biased, like that we're bashing them. But that's just not
no,
yeah.
I have to take care of the guys now. Okay, brothers, I got you guys, but it's not only this segment. Next segment, okay? We have a day. Come back on the next sister show on the hot soup, and I promise you guys that I will have your back because I always do. Ola usually does, but today she bailed out on you guys. I don't know what's happened to Ole today. But yeah, on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap this show, and hopefully you guys found this show very informative. The ironic thing is that the main segment, which is hepatitis B, has everything to do with men. So hopefully today is going to be a lot of men that are actually watching, and they're going to hear all these things. So this was actually not a good idea that we all went on one side of the kitchen. So next time, as I said, I got your back. We'll be right there with you guys eating the hot soup. The men, that is. Okay? On that note, Fatu, go ahead and tell the audience where they can follow you on your pages. And we will be bringing you back here on the hot soups because we really like your take.
I'm looking forward to that. Well, my name is Fatu Elika Muloshi. You can follow me on Facebook at Fatu Muloshi, Fatu Elika Muloshi. Instagram is Fatu Muloshi _official, and Twitter at emuloshi. So just follow me and we can keep the conversation going. I just want to say that if you're an established woman, most likely you would want to go in for an established man because you don't want to go into something and then eventually you start realizing that it's not matching up to your goals.
You just have to add a little more extra
jumbo kind of, you know, taste.
and some more habanero peppers and some cayenne pepper. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and let you guys go until next Saturday. We have a date. Don't be late. 9 p.m. GMT and 4 p.m. Eastern. And go ahead and click away and share this video and click on that notification button. So every time we come here, right here on Facebook, you get the notification. Thank you guys. And thank you ladies for watching. And thank you sisters. Thank you Fatu.